Live. I think we're live.
Yeah.
Oh, you hear that? Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, 4:01 p.m., Canoga Park, California, 2LaneLIVE headquarters. What's happening?
Hey,
Who's it sponsored by?
Well, this episode is brought to you by Eagle Rider Motorcycle Rentals and Tours. You want to go travel but don't want to ride across the country to get there? Hop on a plane. Get an Eagle Rider bike. Have a good time.
Yes.
Fly home. You want to save a little cash? Go to 2lanelife.com. Click the Eagle Rider tab. Save a little cash.
It's that easy.
It's great. It's that easy. So
These guys
today,
And thanks, Patrick, New Belgium.
Yo, baby.
Voodoo Ranger. We've got some exciting things coming down the pike we can talk about. Have a special guest today. We're going to do a nice giveaway today. We just got back off of an incredible trip with our two daughters. And I think they just absolutely enjoyed that, getting out, seeing and experiencing what we experienced. And we just had a really good drop, and love to hear feedback from you guys on the Wednesdays at 4. We had pickup in views, it looked like, from the premiere. And so love to hear your feedback on that. But what a cool run up into Kernville and seeing the water and Havilah and the poppies. What a great drop. And
Absolutely.
I love the music you selected.
Well, thank you, sir.
yeah,
Figured
good
I'd
job on that. So
switch it up.
it'll be a really cool dynamic for you guys out there to watch yesterday's drop and next week's drop, and then when it goes into our daughters, and you'll see how there's going to be some correlation there. It's great trips. Both of them are awesome. All 4 of them love riding. So get back, check those out. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Tell your friends to do the same.
Did you say it would be an interesting dynamic because we have the founder of Custom Dynamics on today's live?
Yes.
Yes.
He
Are you
was
just
saying
being-
that.
Yes.
He really meant to say that.
Everything
I gotcha.
about this live is very dynamic.
I'd love to hear it.
It's custom and dynamic.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah. So get back, watch all those videos, because we need book reports from all of you. Due
Book
on Monday.
reports.
Is there a word count or like
Yeah.
a minimum word count?
1,000-word minimum.
Wow.
Is it a book report or is it a vlog report?
Vlog report would be kind of good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Glad
So-
we're on the same
Excuse
page.
me.
Well,
Also, you know what? We'll do it. Setzer is in the house. Setzer sent us something. And Lance might have gotten a peek, but I wanted you to see it live.
oh,
Should we do
yeah.
that right now?
What do you mean?
Yeah, do it
Okay.
right now.
For those of you guys listening,
You
we'll-
weren't here.
Yes,
We'll
I
give you
was.
a description.
Ornery One, what's up, brother?
We got Ornery One in the house. Also, unfortunately,
So Setzer
after I
did
show this to you,
Send it
we
to
will
him.
have to get
What's
the
up,
lawyers involved to send
Jason?
Setzer a cease and desist for creating shirts with the 2LaneLIVE logo.
What?
But if you look at the back, this is geared towards you, my friend. This one's for you, LC. Oh, what? I must have thrown 2 shirts.
You
Throw one
threw
back,
2.
football guy.
Oh, God, that's funny. We love you,
Got to
Jason.
get the right size.
We're kind of filming here.
Yeah.
So
There we go.
when we did the video at the Florida Keys. You want to see my
That's
camera?
freaking hilarious.
When we did the
I
video
love
at
it.
Florida Keys, we had a very interesting time trying to get people to not walk right in front of the big camera. And, we don't own the place. We get it. We're just being assholes. But thank you, Setzer. We appreciate that. You'll be hearing from our team, our legal team, about the logo. I'm kidding. I'm definitely rocking this. This should be our filming shirt.
I dig it.
Yeah.
Did you explain what's on the back of it? That it's
Yeah,
the
it's
actual.
This is
Okay,
the
good.
buoy that is at Key West.
It's
that
10
was
feet
in the
tall.
background that people were walking in front of. So
It's a marker
Yes, sir.
for the furthest southeastern point in the southern U.S. with the southern tip of the southern.
With the northern.
we also
hemisphere.
had a world
Continental
record for
point.
outtakes.
Yeah.
Anyway, it looks like we got some great people in the house. Dr. Phil, I'm actually
Robin.
really stoked that the actual Dr. Phil has become a fan of the show.
Fantastic.
Love it.
Yeah.
So without further ado,
Hey, Frank. Booyah.
Without further ado,
Would you like to
Drum
introduce
roll.
our guest and bring him in?
we've got the one and only. There might be more, but the one and only that I know of, Dave Pribula, the founder of Custom Dynamics Motorcycle Lighting. Crazy story. We've actually been over it before. We've had him on the show before and talked about kind of how it all started from a garage setup to now a very successful company with lights that have been on our bikes for longer than we've been doing 2-lane. So
25 plus years.
yes, sir.
But I will
20
say
plus.
this.
Yes.
Running the full set on our baggers it's just such an awesome safety feature. It's just such a great way to go down the road.
Bring him in.
We love
it.
them.
And there he is. What's happening, Dave?
Hey, thanks for having me back.
Yeah.
Anytime.
So say that again,
So,
as he can comment to that.
well, we love once you put the lights on your bike, and they're pretty simple install, plug and play, and you go down the road and then the sun goes down, you're riding home from work and you're going, wow, I'm turning the corner and the sidewalks, everything's lit perfect. They're so clear and the light, everything about them is great. From a safety standpoint, we love them.
Except for when we're on the freeway and you're blasting us with your brights.
Well, here's the thing that I've done it to these guys a few times, and I'm blown away when you're on the freeway and way 500 yards away, you hit the brights and the green freeway signs above the road light up like a movie theater.
That's not what Josh is referring to. If you were just flashing, that's one thing, but you ride with your brights on behind us.
No, I don't.
You do. But we were not necessarily big. We ran custom dynamics on every one of the bikes we've owned,
But
just primarily the plug-ins, and
Yeah.
we weren't big light guys. And when Karen was like, well, we're going to send you this, this, and this, and here's how we're going to set the bikes up. And we're kind of going, man, I don't know about that. But we get constant comments about how good they look during the day and at night. I can definitely tell a difference when people are, when I'm coming down the road, they can see me now because I've got the lowers. We've got the up on the top fairing. We've got those. We got the little bullets on the side, and we've got the big dual, and people can see us for
I love
sure.
it.
So looks like you're in the workshop.
Yeah, I'm actually out here in our QC lab tonight because we're going to show you a few new products after we talk for a little while. We're going to show you actually a couple newer products and a couple that are coming down the pipeline. So yeah, this is where we do a lot of our quality control testing. So it's a little bright out here, so I might look a little washed out tonight, but it's very bright in here. We got a lot of lighting and stuff, so we can look not only test things, but look at the quality and the finish on things too. So very, very bright where I'm sitting in this lab tonight. So you see some of the stuff behind me, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later. But thank you for all those great comments. And that's what we try to do. We try to do safety with style, make the bikes look as nice as we possibly can, and get that added visibility. And of course, try to make it as easy of an install as we can. Make everything that we possibly can plug and play. So it's a very simple install for the end user, and of course get as much visibility as we can and keep everything compliant with the specifications, and really add that visibility and safety to the rider, because that's what we're all about.
And Dave, what when we get towards the end of the show, you have a little surprise for folks, don't you?
We do.
What's going to happen?
We're going to do a little giveaway at the end. So we're going to do a $250 gift certificate. So pay attention while we're going through this.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you for offering that.
That's not little. That's really good. Someone's going to be real happy.
Yeah. So pay attention, and we'll have a little question at the end.
We'll be thinking of that question in the meantime.
So before we kind of jump into let's talk a little bit about the new Harley release. You've seen leak photos. You saw yesterday the release they did at the motor company. What are you thinking about in terms of these new bikes and lights? I mean, that's if you try to jump in early, do they sell well? Do they not sell? So a company like yours that specializes in lighting, you see now they've got these new light sets out there. What are you thinking about when you see that? Yeah,
so it's a tough position for us to be in with complete new designs on these bikes. So of course we want to be first to market with this. We want to see, obviously we got to get our hands on ones once they're released and see what they're all about versus the leaked photos, see what's real, what's not on them. But from what I can see on there's a lot of changes, right? Everything looks different. Whether you like it, love it or hate it, whatever it is, it's different. It's dramatic changes. So, thinking about ideas already on what we could do for that, but we really need to get our hands on it. The trade-offs are, how well do these sell? How much do we have to invest in making these changes? And, is this something worth investing in? Are these going to sell? Are these going to become mainstream? Do you jump in early? Do you wait and see if these changes become mainstream, if these models really take off? So a lot of trade-offs for us and other companies that are affected by this. So it's a tough call.
Yeah, I was kind of looking at the light setup. We were talking a little bit earlier off camera. I mean, yourselves, clockwork, with the different windscreen. It's going to be interesting to see, like you said, are these just going to be special for these CVOs, or when's the launch date? Are they moving this direction for every lineup with the street glide and the road glide? So time will tell, but it takes you, a good time to replicate and then produce. And that's probably a good 12, 15 months.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, on a fairly complex product that's brand new, start to finish, it's about 12 months from concept to production. So yeah, and that's moving things right along. So it does take some time. And on top of that, we're still dealing with supply chain issues. They're not quite as bad as they were 2 years ago, but we're not out of the woods yet either. There are still some component shortages, especially with microcontrollers. So you gotta factor that in too. I like to say everything's back to normal, but it's really not. There are still supply chain constraints in semiconductors. So we gotta deal with that too.
Yeah, Luke from Fueling and I were just on the phone talking about that same thing. It's not back to where it was, and also the inventory side of things too. Everyone's so thin on inventory. So you're not holding inventory as much for others. And it just, we need another good solid year and some good leadership to help fix this stuff,
Absolutely. We like to, as far as inventory on components, in normal times, things typically run 12 to 16 weeks, which is pretty manageable. And we've been seeing, a lot of things, over the last couple of years run 52 plus weeks. And it's really difficult to manage your business when you're trying to forecast out what you need 52 plus weeks. It's almost impossible. I try to, plan ahead. What's the demand going to be a year from now, and get those components on order. In reality, the lead times, to build things are longer than that, because we're just talking components lead time 52 weeks, and then once you get the components in, you got to build the PCBs, the printed circuit boards, and then build that final product from those components. So it's very difficult to manage that. So is the demand up? Is the demand down? Am I over ordering and going to have too much inventory? Am I under forecasting? And again, a lot of things have improved from that, but we're still seeing some long lead times. There are still some components that are 52 weeks, and that makes things very, very difficult to manage your business.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I saw the Ordinary one. He commented that best customer service in the world, and we agree. I mean, everyone there is so helpful. Todd's great. Everyone there is helpful if we need. We're kind of new to the lighting game, so we've been brought up to speed pretty quick. Josh has probably got more knowledge than any of us, but
he's kind of in the
let
dark.
him have that.
That ain't saying much.
I don't know.
No, I'm kidding.
So, look, Karen had sent over a new headlamp for us. Talk a little bit about this. It's a little different price point, but still a great headlamp. What did you recently launch here and put out?
Yeah, so let me step back for a minute and show you. I think you can still see it behind me here. This is our double X headlight for the road glides. And I'll move my setup back here. I've got a long cord on here, so I should be able to grab it.
Nothing like being tethered to the bench.
If I pull too hard, I'll unplug and have to plug myself back in. power strip.
So yeah, you guys get back there and check out these drops, and check out the 2LaneWives Instagram because we got a lot of pictures going on there of the girls' trip.
Here we go.
This is our double X LED Road Glide headlight, and we call it the double X. Hopefully that's coming through to the camera.
Yeah.
I'll point it up a little bit so it doesn't quite blind the camera. But the DRL on here are in an X-shaped pattern. So I'll turn it off. That's probably not picking up too well on the web camera. I'll bring one over here.
There we go. Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely bright.
Yeah, but this is a nice, good pattern headlight. So it looks like here. Some reflection off it. All get, of course, plug and play. Got the built-in adjuster for it. So very nice price point for a Road Glide headlight, and of course DOT compliant, as is all of our lighting that needs to be.
How do you adjust that light? Do you install it first and then fine tune it?
Yes, you can install it and it adjusts just like the stock headlamp. You can get to it right from the bottom. It has the same adjuster as the stock headlamp, so very easy to adjust while it's on the bike. Get back to my seat here. So yeah, just like the OEM headlight on the bike, same adjuster as the OEM, so it makes it very simple to adjust it while it's on the bike. And we always advise, we give the instructions on how to adjust it. We always advise to adjust while you're sitting on it, or if you're riding two up, to have the people on the bike, and it's very simple to aim it.
Yeah, and Josh just put in the link to our website where you can pick up these lights. We've got a whole page dedicated to 2 pages dedicated to custom dynamics.
There's a video on it too, so if anyone wants to learn a little more about it, check out some other features. It looks like in the thumbnail for the video, there's some color going on.
Yeah, we actually have 2 versions of this. So we have our standard, which would just be, the DRL and the low and high beam. And we also make it in a ProGlow version. So the ProGlow version is our version with the color changing lights, the decorative lights. So if you have the ProGlow decorative LEDs on your bike, you can add this in the ProGlow version. And then instead of having just a white DRL, these lights are all color changing RGB LEDs.
Oh wow.
So you can do everything in the ProGlow series and have all the color changing lights. So really cool if you're into having the decorative color changing accent lights on your bike. You can add this as part of the ProGlow family. Control everything with the app on your phone and do all the cool things that you can do with the ProGlow series. Make it go to the music, do chasing patterns. Really a lot of nice features for those that want, that type of decorative light on your bike. You're not going to ride down the road with all the chasing LEDs doing reds and blues and things like that, unless you want a ticket. But when you're parked in the parking lot, or, in a restaurant, or at bike night, you can do some really nice features with the bike on that.
I didn't know that. And with this headlamp, there's no integration like on the ProBEAM. There's the integrated blinker inside, right?
Correct. Yeah. Okay. This version does not. It just has the 2 versions. Now, what we are coming out with on our ProGlow series, we are coming out with a ProGlow 2.0, which will be later this year in the fall timeframe. So if you have the ProGlow version of that, the 2.0 ProGlow will add LED turn signals to everything. So
Gotcha.
It's just a new controller, a new box. And with that box, if you already have the ProGlow on there, now what it will do when you turn your turn signals on, it'll take things like the where the DRLs are and stuff. It'll make them amber, and they'll also become a turn signal.
Got it.
That's just an upgrade for anyone that has ProGlow to make the 2.0 have turn signals. So in that aspect, yes, but without being the ProGlow, you would not.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. So is there any other new products you want to mention?
Yeah, we got several of them here. What we kind of have focused on a little bit tonight is a new style of light, which is the Selective Amber. I'll talk a little bit about why Selective Amber. It's been, fairly popular lately. It's a trend. So the Selective Amber, you have probably seen them on bikes.
Yep.
We call it kind of the bad weather lighting. And the reason why Selective Amber, I mean, it's popular. I think it's a trend. People like the look of it, but it's a little bit better for driving in bad weather, because what that frequency does, that wavelength does, is your eye doesn't pick up the glare. So when you have white light and you're riding in rain or fog, or snow or whatever it is, hopefully you're not riding out in the snow, but when you have things like that and white light reflects off those particles, your eye is very sensitive to that. Especially the blues and the purples in white light. White light is pure and it has all the wavelengths. So when you put a selective amber light in, which is basically same thing as white light, but you're filtering out these blues and purples and making a selective amber color by putting a filter on white light, your eye is not seeing those wavelengths. So you're by filtering that out, and you're really not changing the light output. And sometimes you can even argue maybe you're putting even less light out than white. But because your eye is your brain is not as sensitive to that wavelength, you don't see that glare. So when you're driving with selective amber fog lights or driving lights and you're in bad weather, whether it's rain or fog, when you have these on, you can actually see better because your brain's not seeing that glare. It's like a filter. So your brain doesn't see that glare, so you can actually see better. So that's why this selective amber has been popular in the last 18 months or so. And again, it's really just a bad weather light. And again, it's kind of trendy too. So that's what I'm going to show you tonight is a bunch of these selective amber lights that we have and are coming out. Because again, they're trendy, but I think they're trendy for a reason, is that they do help you see in bad weather. And that's really the purpose of them.
Is it white amber, or is it got the yellow tint to it?
They've got the correct terminology, selective amber, or selective yellow, sorry. But that's the actual wavelength, that's the color. So if you looked at a frequency of colors, you've got amber, you've got yellow, and then you've got selective yellow. And that's the true color of it's coming out. So that's the color, and it's kind of a. Let's probably see it better with this light here.
I think we're going to need some of those. We're always in bad weather.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm always going the opposite.
We can see that.
Yeah.
So that's actually that's the part number I was looking at, because those are the 4-inch.
Yeah, those are the 4.5-inch.
I was looking at putting light pods on my FXRP fairing. I'm still trying to figure out the blinker situation because I don't have those on the front. Those are just running lights, right?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
We call them, passing lamps or fog lamps.
Yep.
But those are the 4.5-inch. So
Cool.
those are our new product for us. And again, over the white lights and stuff, putting out about the same amount of light, but just because of that frequency and what your brain and your eyes perceive, it'll do much better in rain or fog. You're not going to get that glare. So that's the advantage of it.
Matt Laidlaw runs fog lamps. We'll have to set him up.
So what is their option? Josh does have his fairing, and he wanted to put the pods in there.
I mean, for those, it would just be a direct.
But you want it to be,
I have 2 auxiliary plugs on the Road King that are just waiting to be used.
Yeah.
I just need to get the pods to,
So you need them to be a light and a blinker.
Well, I'll have to put the blinkers elsewhere because those
are just just on
just the running lamp.
Yep, running lamp, passing lamp, whatever you want to call
it. Would a bullet fit on? He's got an FXRP fairing. I know they're all a little different, we were looking at the bullets the other day, but it looks like they're really more fit to kind of that little angle that the Road Glide has. We were wondering if I was going to call and ask and see if maybe there was a little fitment thing that we could work on to.
Yeah, I'm just going to put the regular LEDs on my crash bar.
Yeah,
That's
and we do have just for the bullet lights, we do have a full amber bullet light too. So this is our new Gen 4. I keep twisting the wrong way. Light, and I'll show you that lit up right here. Pull over here.
That's what I had on my bars, but because of the height of my bars, it actually shined the inside of the fairing, so I had to get rid of that. Let's see.
So,
What?
yeah, so this is a amber. I'll point it up a little bit. An amber running light, and then it's a full contrast amber turn signal in addition.
There you go.
Gotcha.
So get your full contrast turn. And I'm pointing this up in the ceiling, not even at the camera.
Right.
And then when you turn your turn off, back to your full amber running light.
Gotcha.
So, and then we put that behind an amber lens.
So you think you're going to do what? Just go down to the crash
Well, I'm just
bar?
gonna, put those bullets like I had on my bars.
Yeah.
Just put them on the crash bar, then put the 4.5-inch passing lamps in the light pods, which will be a pretty big difference. I mean, me sitting on the freeway, whether I'm in a car or a bike, and I look in my rear view, you see like a GS, like a adventure bike with the yellow lights.
Yeah.
You see them like 2 miles away. Versus the white lights, kind of, is that a car with a headlight out or at night? You know.
Right.
And that was that 4.5-inch light.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
that's
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah. And then we also have them in the ProBEAM fog lamp, and that's the halo, and then also the driving light.
mm-hmm.
Boom.
And we also have the Selective Amber in the driving light bar for the Dynas and Softails. I won't turn this one on.
Oh, yep.
Oh yeah.
So that's again in a Selective Amber too for the Softails and Dynas that go right in the center of the
Yep.
triple trees.
You need one of those.
I don't know if I have enough gap
I
with
know.
the fairing hanging down there. Let's
So
see.
all of those are in Selective Amber. And then lastly, we talked a little bit earlier about the lower fairings. We also have, let's see if you can see this one.
That's probably what we get asked about the most is the lights on your lowers.
And the saddlebag lights.
Yep. James Latoff says, "You guys light up my life." So thank you, James. We appreciate that. Oh, you know what? He's talking about custom dynamics.
Light up my
Maybe. I don't know.
life.
Light it up. And we had some questions earlier about if custom dynamics makes anything for gold wings. I know you're sounds like you're more so.
Oh, there's the
Oh, wow.
lower.
Here's the lowers. So this is
Look at
again amber
Wow.
running light and amber turn signal.
Very
Wow.
nice.
Yeah, those things stand out for sure. So it looks like you're working on some Indian lighting in the back, if I am correct.
You are correct. That's
Did
what
you get
that
your
is.
answer on the Goldwing?
Goldwing, unfortunately, we do not, unless it's just a universal product, maybe like a brake strobe or something like that.
Yep.
So, we do have universal products that fit anything that's 12 volts.
Cool. And then is Indian a newer thing, or have you guys been working on that for a while?
That Indian you see in the back is a newer product. That is a vent insert for the Chieftains for the center vent.
Nice. That'll be cool. I'm still thinking of the word or question or whatever it may be that we're going to give away that gift card. We'll see. I'll be noodling it.
Are we giving away a gift card today, Josh?
You know, I think we're giving away a gift card at
I
some
think we
point in
are
this
too.
live. You're just going to have to.
$250.
Someone's going to be
Find out
really
when.
lucky.
That's pretty dynamic.
It is.
Oh,
Oh, look at that.
Boom.
freshy. Well, we talked about some new product launch. We talked about, the new bikes coming out. You've got a new product there potentially with the Indian. you know, it looks like things are kind of swinging back the other way. We see less, at least for us, we see, you know, less times where we don't have inventory to be able to pick up on product. We're drag dealers as well, as you know, so we do a lot of drop shipping from them, and that seems to have picked up. They're going through an automation change, it looks like, over the weekend here. So we wish them well with that, because that will help us. Our website, Karen has been gracious to go through and look at our product with you guys, make sure we've got the right stuff up. And my daughter's calling, and someone turned my sound on. I don't know if that was Josh or not, but yeah, where I was going was it seems like, you know, we're kind of getting maybe back to normal a little bit. You know, the economy's tough right now. People's flexible spending's maybe down a little bit just because of what's going on. But I mean, in general, you feel pretty good about the industry and where we're headed, and you know, the strength of it.
Yeah, I still feel pretty optimistic about it. You know, there's a lot of motorcycles on the road. So, you know, even though, you know, sales for Harleys may have been down a little bit in the last few years, and there's just a tremendous amount of vehicles on the road, and I think, you know, people are still going to spend their dollars on their bikes. It's their baby. They want to customize them. You know, I've been doing this a long time.
Yeah.
You know, I've been over 20 years with Custom Dynamics doing this, and I've seen, you know, strong economies. I've seen weak economies. You know, back in 2007, 8, you know, things were pretty rough, and people still, you know, took care of their bikes. You know, like I said, it's their baby. They want to take care of it, and you know, in good times, people spend a lot of money, and you know, they're out buying vehicles. And when things tighten up in the market, maybe they don't quite spend as much, and maybe they're not out buying a new vehicle, and maybe they'll keep their bike for a little bit longer. But they'll still put money into it. They'll still say, hey, you know, maybe I'll not make that new purchase this year. I'll hold off another year, but you know what? I'm going to go out and I'm going to put a new something, you know, maybe it's a new headlight, maybe it's new grips, maybe it's a new seat, whatever it is, but I'm still going to put something into it because it's mine, and I ride it every day, and I want it to look good, and I want to feel good riding it, and I want to be safe riding it. So,
and maybe that's a testament, just like what we went through in 2020, where people could at least get out and I mean, we call it wind therapy, right? Like, maybe that's the deal here, is people are like, yeah, I'll put a little bit more money into my bike and I'm going to ride it. And even when it's bad times, doesn't cost me as much for a tank of gas. And I'm going to go out and ride on the weekend and let my thoughts go where they will, and not be worried about what the hell's going on, you know, on Monday through Friday.
Absolutely.
Someone just asked a question of what about the product for older bikes? And of course, you have plenty for older models, right?
We absolutely do. Yep. We do. You know, we're one of the companies that you know, in this industry, in lighting industry, that will focus on older models too, because there's a lot of them on the road. So we just don't focus on 14 and newers. We focus on the older models too, because there's a lot of them out there, and we want to take care of those customers in addition to the people that just have 14 and newers.
Right.
Well, and I think even Harley had a strategy. It's still a strategy for them that they introduced about a year and a half ago, which was we need to pick up in the used bike, you know, market, and get people out in a lower cost entry point for a motorcycle. Let's get the used bikes and get them for sale and get people riding.
Yeah. Not everyone can afford, you know, a $40,000, you know, bike as their first bike. So, you know,
right.
You know, and there's nothing wrong with buying an older bike, or you know, a used bike, and that's your starting point. Nothing wrong with that at all.
Nope.
Even the other day we had what was his name? Ginger. He's the drummer for Marilyn Manson, I think it was, or some other band now. But he came in, he was just shooting the shit, and he was trying to decide. You know, he has a Sporty that he built exactly how he wants. He was showing us all this just gnarly lighting and speakers and whatever versus, oh, do I maybe get a new Fat Bob? But every single question he was asking us, the answer was, well, it sounds like you like your bike more because it's your bike and you want to just enjoy it and ride it, you know? So sometimes the best bike you can own is the one you already got.
I think he was trying to talk us into having us talk him into buying a bike.
Yeah, but we're like,
And we're
dude,
like,
it sounds
you-
like
but
you like your bike, so
like,
just
what do
build
you-
it. Continue to build, you know?
Yeah.
Absolutely. What do you currently ride?
I you know, we have a lot of bikes here to choose from, but I think still my favorite is my Street Glide.
Okay. And what do you think about the new setup, if you will, with the Street Glide? I mean, maybe, I don't know what's been put out there, but that front end looks pretty dang cool.
Yeah, it does. It does. And what I think is pretty cool, we just got one here, and we're making a lot of parts for it too. But the Low Rider ST, I think, is a pretty cool bike, and we're working on a lot of parts for that. And we've got them all kind of prototype. Don't have too much into production yet, but we've done some pretty cool things with it. So
Okay.
you know, maybe next time you guys have me back, we'll be able to show some nice things for the Low Rider ST. But we're working on a lot of products for that. I think that's I think, you know, I think they hit a home run with that one. I really like that bike, and I think you know, what we're due to it will make it even a little bit cooler than what Harley did.
Looking
I
forward
mean,
to
that
seeing
seems
it.
to be the common theme with that
Right.
bike, right?
Yeah.
I mean, your son has 2 of them.
Yes, he does, and he's doing all kinds of fun things with it.
Yeah, he's building one for Born Free. He's
Yeah.
got, you know, and he's got his own that he's building out,
Right.
painting. But he was talking about maybe riding that one to Sturgis. Like, and he's ridden his Dyna and his Bagger, and the Baggers are very comfortable. But he's like, yeah, I could tour with that thing. It's great.
Yeah. I mean, it's a really nice bike. You know, just off the factory floor. I mean,
Right.
Yeah. When you say products in lighting, are you going deep?
lighting.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. Yep.
They all can use that updated lighting for sure.
Yep. So yeah, we gotta. You know, I don't want to get too much into them yet because they're early. But we've got them all mocked up on the bike out on the floor. But they look really nice. I was out there today. Todd and I were working on them.
Yeah, everyone out there, just stay tuned for some great things coming for your ST from Custom Dynamics, which are available at 2LaneLIVE.com.
Oh,
Whoa, what a
shameless
plug.
plug.
But I have to tell you that we've done quite a few of the integrated taillights. Those seem to be really popular.
Well, they get to see them on our bikes, and then they come in and we show them our bikes. And after we show them the lighting on our bikes, and they're usually happy and they usually end up buying something, we have to turn the ignition on and blast the horn for them.
Yeah, I'm sitting in my office, which is like a concrete wall behind, you know, rows of product, and I'm just sitting here with my headphones on. I usually can't hear anything, and just
The horn
jumping
goes
up,
off.
You know, like, what are these guys doing?
So if you want,
people love that horn.
yeah, if you're out on the road and someone's about to maybe move into your lane and you hit that horn, they know you're there.
Well, I've hit the horn a few times, and I don't think they believe it's coming from me.
Yeah.
And it's not a train horn. People are like, "What? That's a train?" No.
They go, "Was that your bike?" Yeah.
And Dave, I have to tell you, when we pulled them out of the packaging, we're like, "What the hell is this?" Like, it's massive, but you put it on the bike, and I don't know how you did it, but it marries up with the fins on the heads, and it's like it's not even there.
Yeah. It does look a little bit big. Some people are a little taken back when they first open it, but once you get it mounted on the bike, it really blends in well and goes with the flow of the bike. And you know, you get so much out of that horn. And, you know, and a lot of people don't even think about us as horns and just lighting, but it's another safety product, and it does, you know, go well with our other products. So it's just another way to be safer on the road.
Definitely.
Look at this. Military biker says the CD horn sounds like the one I had on my tank.
So
I love that.
like,
you got to use that for a testimonial, Dave.
Right.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Well, the
Sounds
cool
like
thing
this-
about
go ahead. I was just going to say, it sounds like this guy's been following Custom Dynamics for quite some time because he's asking where that 18-wheeler is. You had a giant setup, right? Back in the day?
We did. We did.
Uh-huh.
We had a giant setup. I mean, it was massive. It was, I forget what was it, like, I don't know, 2,000 square foot under the awning, something like that. It was like a house. To be honest with you, I mean, it was a lot of work to go around and set up, but we got so large going to the shows. The real reason that, you know, we got out of it was really twofold. One, it was massive. It was a lot to man. It was a lot of work to do. But the other reason is we got so big, we found we were competing with our dealers, and we never wanted to compete with our dealers. So when we would pull into town, whether it was, you know, a Daytona or whether it was a Sturgis, and you know, with this massive setup and did these shows, we found that the dealers were getting put back by us. So, you know, we found a better way of doing this. So, you know, we always want to partner with our dealers. We don't want to intimidate them. We don't want to compete with them. So the way we go to market now at the rallies is we have the dealers that we go to the shows with buy the inventory through Drag Specialties. We go there and we install all those products in coordination with the dealership. So the dealer's getting the sales. We're getting, you know, the sales, you know, the revenue through Drag, but we're doing it in partnership with the dealership. We're not competing with it. We're not going in there and getting all that revenue for ourselves. We're allowing the dealer to learn about installing and growing their business and helping them and doing some product training while we're there. But it's a partnership and it's not a competition. So that's why we changed our model. Yeah, was it nice going to the shows in the big rig and putting on a big show? Yes, but it's not where we wanted to be long term. We wanted to be in partnership with our dealers and not competing with them, and that's why we changed our model several years ago. And so now when we go to a show, it's in a partnership with that dealer. That dealer buys the inventory. We're there to support them. We're there to install that inventory for them and not compete with them.
Perfect scenario.
Well, you've got me waiting just to go to Sturgis again. So
Right.
looking forward to that.
You know what? It won't be that long.
Yep. It's coming up quick.
Well, we also need to figure out, we need to create more sales out here on the West Coast. I mean, our channel covers the whole gambit of, you know, the country, the globe. We're sending parts to different parts of the world. We're sending parts all across the U.S., but we need to help figure out how to get the West really engaged in these lights. And I think the process is, you know, there's been a lot of the Baja lighting and things going on right now. But I really do believe that there's that safety factor that Lance was talking about when we first started with the brightness of these lights and with the lowers, the way we're set up, it's casting, like I'll turn the turn signal on and I come around the corner and then it goes off and it all of a sudden blows up again I can see the bottom of the street. I can see way out in front of me. I think the safety feature of just having DOT approved or whatever, you know, the parameters are that they're approved really bright lights. I can just tell people, you know, can see me coming now. And we put a whole deal together on a street glide the other day, and the guy said he turns his emergency because we can legally cut split lanes here in California. He turns his full emergency blinkers on, and he says people are parting the sea because they can see him down the road coming. And he's got the full setup with the lowers. He's got the top bar that we put up on the windshield trim. And he's so happy with it.
Well, there's one thing that I want everyone to know out there too. Like you're mentioning bright lights, the custom dynamic lights are very bright, but the key thing is they're not just bright washed out lights. They're very focused lights. So there are clarity to them that surpasses a lot of the other lights out there.
Yeah. So I'll comment a little bit on that. You know, all of our lighting, all of our functional lighting And I'll expand on that too. But all of our functional lighting, and I mean by functional, headlights, turn signals, tail lights, and stuff, do meet DOT, FMV, SS, Federal Vehicle Motor Safety Standard 108 specifications, which is really the minimum requirements for safety, right? That's the minimum requirement, and all the lighting needs to meet that. And there's several reasons why your lighting, should meet that, must meet that. But all of Custom Dynamics lighting that we sell in the U.S. will meet that. Now, if you're selling an auxiliary light, a little light maybe to go on your trunk or something like that, as an auxiliary light, you don't have to meet that. But for that auxiliary lighting, there still has to be, quote, compliant, in that it can't be too bright. It can't take away from the functional lighting on the bike. All right. So there are regulations on auxiliary lighting too, but on headlights, in turn signals, in tail lights, if you're replacing, a headlight with an aftermarket light, it has to be compliant. And there's many reasons why, but probably the most important one is that it's a safety aspect. You want that lighting to be compliant, so that you're safe, and the other vehicles around you are safe. We'll take a headlight, for example. You want to take that light and put it in a certain pattern on the road, right? You don't want to take that light and just scatter it and throw it everywhere. So when you walk up and look at a headlight that's on, you may think that headlight's very, very bright. You may say, wow, just looking at it, like I was looking, the camera is picking up those lights, and that camera just makes everything look bright. But you can walk up to a headlight and just say, wow, that headlight's really bright. But that headlight, may not be putting the right pattern on the road. That light needs to go into the right areas on the road, because if it's creating glare for that oncoming traffic, you're not doing yourself any good.
Right.
You come around a corner at night, and you blind that car coming around the corner on the opposite side of you. Is he going to be temporarily blinded and run into you? Is he going to cross the lane? You need to be putting the light on the road, ditch to ditch. And when you put your high beam on, you need to take that light and throw it way down the road, not throw it across the road into the oncoming traffic. There's specific test points and patterns for all of these lights, for headlights, for turn signals, for running lights, for brake lights, that you have to meet. And so when you manufacture these lights, you have to scan them, and you have to scan them at specific data points, and they have to meet mins and max. And you can't be too bright, and you can't be too little. So you have to meet these points at specific areas. And what we have seen in the market, over the last few years, and even more so lately, is people taking off-road lighting and thinking it's a good idea to just make a bracket and throw it onto a motorcycle that was never designed for a motorcycle. And yeah, if you just stand back and look at it and flip the switch and say, oh wow, that's really bright. But yeah, really bright, and taking light and putting it in the right places are two completely different things. And that's not a safe vehicle on the road. And it's not safe for the rider, and for the dealer installing that light, there's a liability for doing that. So if that motorcycle gets into an accident and they trace that back to a non-compliant light, there's a huge liability for the person that installed that. But even beyond the liability for the dealership that installed that, do you want to live with the fact that you put a light on there that caused that accident? That's pretty serious.
Yeah.
We learned something new. A nice little sales pitch. I like that term,
right.
Ditch to ditch.
Well,
I like that.
We know we have friends that have some extra lumens on their bikes, if you will.
Shannon, I
And
mean,
they know that it's, too much. But yeah, I think to your point, I remember installing headlamps in an old car and trying to line them up against the wall at night to make sure that they were casting the right pattern. My dad was a stickler for that kind of stuff. And I definitely can tell, this is not a plug for 2LaneLIVE or Custom Dynamics, but the product I'm running on my bike, I absolutely enjoy. I'm on a 120th anniversary right now, running around, and I can tell you on my bike, when I'm on that, casting the light and the difference, no pun intended, it's night and day. No pun intended. I'm just saying.
And I guess to touch on the off-road thing, those, I don't know much about electronics and whatnot, but those lights are meant to project in any and all directions to the maximum ability versus that focus lighting that you were talking about for road.
Yeah, they're floodlights.
Got it. You're just flooding out the road. You can see them coming, but yeah.
someone
that's what
was
you're saying.
blaming us up there for making. He had to take his wife out to dinner.
His wife's not getting dinner because he's going to go buy some parts.
Oh, so he
Fantastic.
said he's
It's
going
all
to go buy some more lights.
Well, put her on the back of the bike once you have your lights, and then take her to dinner, and she'll
Right.
enjoy all of it.
You can see where we're going for dinner. It's not going anywhere.
I guess a good analogy would be, if you're out in the woods at night and you're trying to find your way out of the woods and you've got a flashlight, right? You want that flashlight to put a nice pattern out to see the trail in front of you, to walk out of the woods, and not a light that's just scattering light everywhere and not putting a beam out in front of you. It doesn't do a lot of good to take that light and shine it up in the trees when you're trying to find your way out of the woods, and there could be cliffs and hazards and things. You want the light to be out in front of you and be able to see where you're going, and not shining up in the trees or out 100 yards to the sides. You want it nice and focused and be able to see in a pattern that you should be shining. And maybe not the best analogy, but it's the same thing when you're riding your motorcycle. You want a pattern that's on the road, that's going to allow you to see the road and not be shining off to the left, blinding the car coming
Right.
around the corner at you. And that's what the DOT standard is. It defines how that pattern is, and it's a very clear pattern in test points that you're testing to. And there's expensive equipment that you have to buy to put these lights into to scan these patterns. And we do that with every run of product we do. Every lot that we make, we have traceability back to that lot, and we sample that lot and have traceability to every lot that we manufacture.
Well, I've been noticing a lot of people commenting about customer service, and they love the customer service at Custom Dynamics. And, we pride ourselves on that as well. I mean, if someone calls here, we answer the phone, we talk to them, and that blows their mind. So customer service with good product goes so far nowadays. It's amazing.
Yeah, because it's rare, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to find in the world we live in today.
Well, talk about along the lines of customers, your guarantee for your lights.
Yeah, so we have a lifetime warranty on all of our lights and all of our electronic modules and stuff. So we stand behind what we build, and we want to have that same customer service too that you guys have, and we want to have the technical support, the warranty, the customer service, and have that customer have a wonderful experience with us. And if something goes wrong, which we're not perfect, if there's a warranty, we want to take care of it.
That's good.
Well, we had a guy in yesterday, military, out of Utah, Sheldon, and he said he bought some lights. He thinks it was in the Ozarks. He's a truck driver, and half the light on his right side wasn't working. And I said, well, if you need our help, we'll help you. We didn't sell you the light, but I can guarantee you if you call them, they're going to take care of you. And he said, oh, I didn't know that. And I said, yeah. I mean, he said, is the lifetime guarantee true? I said, absolutely, it's true. Why don't you call them and find out? He's like, I'll do it.
Yeah. Well, we haven't been doing this for 20 years without standing behind the products. So,
Right.
Well,
So-
what do you think?
I was just going to say, speaking of which, we've had you on before, but since then we've grown a bit. We have different viewership, whatever. I guess what I'm asking is maybe share a little bit about your story, how things started kind of from the top, what you were doing before you're like, hey, I'm going to use this whole internet thing to sell some lights,
Sure. So my background is I'm an electrical engineer. I worked for IBM for 10 years in electronics, in mainly optoelectronics. So I do have an optical background. From my days at IBM, I moved over to Philips Electronics. I worked at Philips Electronics for about 9 years. I ran their technical support for all of the Americas. So again, doing a lot in semiconductors. So I've got a lot of semiconductor, a lot of technical support background. And I'll always have had motorcycles. I started riding when I was pretty young. I don't remember, 7, 8, 9 years old. Got my first bike, a little Honda 50. So grew up riding motorcycles and just really kind of combined that passion for electronics, which I've done. Again, that was my background for my passion of motorcycles, which I've always had, and decided to just, was really tinkering around and made a little website. Had no experience with websites, and really just thought I would make a little website and try to sell some little LED decorative lights back in December of 2002. Never really expecting it to become a business, never really thinking it would take off or do anything, and just really was just doing it as a hobby, just tinkering around, trying to, see where it would do. And again, no intention of ever leaving my day job or this becoming anything. This whole thing that this has become was really by accident. No plan to do this. So started to sell these, got my first order December 24th of 2002. And that was the start of Custom Dynamics, the Reader's Digest version.
Well, we're proud to support and represent Custom Dynamics as well in your brand, and like I said, we've been running them on every bike over the last 12 years that we had, and we're fortunate enough to meet our drag ret Ted, put us together, and now we've got this great thing happening. You'll be impressed. I'll send Karen and yourself. We're moving into a new storefront. For those people that are in Los Angeles, California, specifically the Valley or anywhere around, we're trying to make a destination point for people to come in. We'll have water, coffee, an air compressor for people to pump their tires up. But we've got a new retail storefront that we're looking at doing, where the Thrash and Supply group is now, and we've got the whole display here. We have to put it in our warehouse today. And tomorrow it'll be, not tomorrow physically, but in about 30 days, we'll have it in a showroom, and we'll proudly be displaying Custom Dynamics, the logo, on our storefront. And we've got a really cool looking storefront that's being worked on right now.
Interestingly enough,
yes,
we actually ripped out the ceilings in the entire new building, all the lighting. And just got a bunch of 7-inch halos.
Yeah, all that, got all Custom Dynamic lighting and
nice.
All run by 12-volt solar. But no,
yeah, it should be cool.
So with that being said,
but it's going to be a really cool destination point. We'll have Custom Dynamic and some of our other supporters on the doors and really showcase. And so we want to help you build the West Coast, and whatever we can do there together. We're in it.
Well, like I said in the very beginning, when we started talking about this partnership, I thought it was a great match, and we're very happy to be partnered with you. And we think it's going great, and we're very excited about the future. And I would love to get out there at some point and see the new store.
That'd be great.
And we got
Karen's
Karen in the house
commenting
right now.
And everything that we use, whether from helmets to exhaust, suspension, lighting, gloves, all the things that we use, we've been using for years. We have hundreds of thousands of miles in all kinds of weather. And we've told people this before, and we stand by this. If we don't like the product, if it's not functional, and we don't like the company that's selling the product, we usually don't run it. But when we do, we're so proud to help people get the product that they need, so when they travel, they can do it in confidence.
Well, and I think we have companies hitting us up every day for collaborations. And in fact, we say no most of the time because we don't have any experience with their product line. And if you ask someone to send you something and let us test it, that happens occasionally, like we did with PSR and their shift levers, which are great, by the way.
Brake levers.
Brake levers, sorry, and clutch. But we already knew because we'd been running custom dynamics for 10 years prior.
Well, every time we get a new bike, we throw the blinkers, turn signals, tail lights,
In fact, he had on his last road glide, I don't know what insert that was, but it was so bright, just running lamp. It's like I thought he was on the brakes all the time. I'm like, you're going to wear your brakes out. And he's like, no, I'm not on my brakes. But we've had some really cool posts and reels lately that have exploded, and it's partially due to just the way the lighting is on the bikes. It's late at night. We're in southern Arizona. We're in southern Utah, coming around a corner. We're in Page, Arizona, northern, and all of a sudden you see this just incredible picture Josh has been able to capture of the lights and the background. It's just, it's actually really beautiful.
Well, one of the things about your product is it's pretty much in every picture because you can't, it's there, and it's there.
Every post.
Yeah. So that's a good thing.
Hey, we're getting to the top of the hour. So what are you thinking about?
I haven't actually thought about a good question. But I do have one. It might be a little easy. I'm trying to think of something that'll make people think.
Can someone name, what if we did something like, could someone name XYZ product?
A product
that he talked about.
Or
that he talked about.
Maybe.
Yeah. Dave, what do you think? What should we do to give this thing away?
We could do that. I'm just looking through my notes too and seeing if I had a good question.
I'm asking the people. Let's get some ideas.
Yeah, well, they're going to tell us, and then they'll answer.
That is true.
Yeah, they know the question.
Did we talk about what year you started your company?
We could do that. I talked about it. Yeah, I said.
Okay, what is the date of Dave's first online sale?
Yeah.
The day, the month, and the year. The first person to type that will win a gift card. $250 gift card to Custom Dynamics. Okay, someone's got a year. We need a date and a day.
2002. Okay, they got that.
He said it.
Okay, we got a month and a year. We need a day as well.
December 2002. What was the day?
End May. Nope, I don't know what that means.
No.
Let's see. March 10th.
12. What's the one?
12/24.
That's
2002. CVO Realtor.
Oh.
Boom. Oh, wait. Sorry, CVO Realtor. The first one was.
Oh.
It's all popping up out of order. I got to scroll back up. Michael McLemore. It's showing up as.
No way, Mike.
Has he won before?
We've done a lot of stuff with Mike. And Mike, did you just get your seat?
Let's see where to go. All the comments just keep popping up. And a friendly reminder for those of you that are watching, and it's not April 27th, 2023. You're more than welcome to comment as much as you want me. You might not win anything. Let's see. Well, that's awesome. We seriously appreciate you guys making that happen and helping out a lucky winner. And hopefully that.
I guess they'll.
Mike, we'll send Dave and Karen your information. They'll ship you out the card. Winner, chicken dinner. I got to type that. And I think he got some new sunglasses too from us. Boom, boom. Fantastic. Well, Dave, we really appreciate you jumping on. We appreciate the partnership we've got going. You guys are great. The Ordinary one also. So he calls us 2LaneLIVE, and we call him the Ordinary one.
I've kind of figured something was going on there.
I know he's a big proponent as well, and him and his wife are there and doing the meet and greets with you guys. They're great people. We love them, and so I know you got a bunch of great supporters and strength out there. We appreciate what we've got going with you guys. I want to continue that. So when you are out in California, if you're in Southern California, always welcome. We can break some bread and enjoy.
Well, I certainly appreciate that and appreciate everything you guys do for us, especially out on the West Coast. But we'd really love to get out there.
Definitely.
All right. Well, with that, we appreciate it. Hang on for just a minute. We'll close, and then we'll jump back on with you for a second after everyone's gone.
Sounds good.
Thanks, Dave.
Boom. Let's see here. Later on.
So
Well, that was awesome. It's funny. I was thinking about that date as the answer a question to give that away, but then someone mentioned it. I'm like, dude, someone's got a head start now. Someone was listening and they knew and they remembered. Anyway, good times. Sounds like we've had a handful of people. Looks like we've had a handful of people enjoying it. Tons of comments about lighting, about the company, about us, about So
well, I mean, we're here to talk about things, all things motorcycle and other, but true testimonial is that we really enjoyed the lighting that we've got on. And so, it's not an inexpensive upgrade, but it's an upgrade for safety that I think any one or all of the lights that we run, you guys are just you're going to love. It makes the bike look different. It helps at night for sure. It helps during the day so people can see you. But we're behind it. And I love the lifetime guarantee. I love the fact that, people can get good customer service and outreach from the company there.
Well, if you have a company that stands by their product, you should feel good about owning that product
100%.
Because you're going to be safe and you really need the product,
So, hey, look, we've got day 2 drop coming next week. We want to hear about, if you guys are watching Wednesday at 4, if you like that, looks like that's where we're sticking at this point. But we've got some really great information coming down the pike, great vlogs. We've got the website's changing. We're going to be doing a PR release talking about the new showroom that we're going into. We're really going to revamp the website over the next year. Get to make what?
I was just saying real quick, we had some comments. Hey, I was first. I'm just sharing what popped up in the order that we see it on our end. So 2002, 22, boom. December 24th, you go down. So that's just the first we're seeing it. We'll double check that on YouTube afterwards. But either way, we appreciate everyone commenting. I just had to break my way in there.
Yeah,
just having a good time out there and having fun. And nothing's perfect.
If you didn't get the 250, you can still order and use YouTube and get 10% off.
Right.
How about that?
Remember, when you purchase anything from our website, we're not robots. We're people. We're riders. You call the numbers on the website, you're going to get one of us.
Boom. Galen's a robot.
I am.
Well,
robot. All right. Well, let's sign off and get Dave back on for a minute.
Yep.
And he's 3 hours behind us. So
check out our videos. Come on, man.
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
All right. We'll
see you
down the road. And broadcast.